Once they steal your phone number, they can back their way into your account. They can get your sensitive information. And the next thing you know, you're going to be having 30 Amazon orders that you didn't make, and they ain't going to your house.
It happened on a completely normal day in 2019. Nothing felt unusual until Michael glanced at his phone. No signal, no service. At first, it seemed like a minor glitch, something that would fix itself in minutes, but it did not. Michael was not rich. He lived a simple, disciplined life on a fixed income. Every dollar mattered. For over 15 years, he had trusted the same phone number. It was his lifeline. It was connected to his bank, his benefits, and even the account he used to pay for insulin. That number was everything, and in a single moment, it was gone. What started as a small inconvenience quickly turned into confusion, then fear, and soon, something far worse.
It's a normal day. Look down at my phone, no service. I was trying to figure out what in the world's going on. Called my provider, couldn't even call my provider.
That was the moment everything changed, because what Michael did not realize yet was that he had already lost control. His phone was still in his hand, but his number, his identity had been taken when he finally contacted his carrier. Another way, the truth hit hard. His number had been transferred, moved gone. No warning, no approval, no explanation he could recognize. And with that single action, his entire digital life was exposed. There was no break in no stolen phone, no suspicious email, just silence. And that silence was enough. Days later, the real damage began to show. At first, it did not seem possible. Money was missing, not from savings, not from investments, but from the account he depended on to survive, the one he used to pay for insulin. The realization came slowly, like a shadow, growing larger. Transactions he did not make, withdrawals he did not approve, and worst of all, no alerts, because every security system he trusted was sending messages to someone else. What happened to Michael was not random. It was precise, calculated, and disturbingly simple. It is called a SIM swap, a scam that does not break into your phone. It takes your identity at the source. All a scammer needs is control over one small thing: the SIM card, the tiny chip inside your phone that connects your number to your carrier. Once a scammer convinces the carrier they transfer your number to their own device. And from that moment on, they do not need your passwords. They do not need your permission. They become you. Michael never saw it coming. No phishing link, no suspicious call, no warning signs, just one quiet signal, no service. By the time he understood, it was already too late. Every message meant to protect him was going somewhere else. Verification codes, password resets, security alerts, all intercepted, all used against him. And the system did not see a problem, because from its perspective, everything looked normal. The correct number, the correct codes, the correct access, but the wrong person.
Not exactly stealing your phone, but whenever they steal your number, that's the beginning point they need to ruining your life. Once they steal your phone number, they can back their way into your account. They can get your sensitive information. And the next thing you know, you're going to be having 30 Amazon orders that you didn't make, and they ain't going to your house.
And that is exactly what started happening. Unauthorized purchases, strange activity orders being shipped to places he had never heard of. In some cases, victims were lucky. They could prove the fraud and reverse the charges. But luck is not a system, and it is not guaranteed. Behind all of this is a chilling reality. The barrier to this crime is incredibly low. Scammers do not need advanced hacking skills. They do not need sophisticated tools. Sometimes all it takes is answering a simple question.
Not a lot. And that's the interesting thing, because it sounds like it's very complicated. But what the scammers do is they call your carrier. They answer a simple security question. Sometimes it may be, what was your mother's maiden name? And then that allows them to pose as you and get the cell phone carrier to swap the SIM card into their card.
That is it. Information that can often be found online, in data breaches, on social media, or through public records, and suddenly your identity is not yours anymore. Authorities have been watching this pattern grow. The FBI has warned about a sharp rise in SIM swapping cases, with losses reaching tens of millions of dollars in recent years. What once targeted high-profile individuals, crypto investors, influencers, executives has now spread to everyday people. People like Michael. People who did everything right. Used secure passwords, enabled two-factor authentication, followed the rules. But those rules were built on a fragile assumption that your phone number equals you. And when that assumption breaks, everything breaks with it. The most unsettling part of Michael's story is not just the financial loss, it is how ordinary it all felt. There was no confrontation, no clear villain, just a system quietly working against him, step by step, transaction by transaction, until the damage was done. When he reported the fraud, the process followed standard procedures. Logs were checked, credentials matched. Everything appeared legitimate because technically it was. The system had been fooled, but it did not know it. And that left Michael in a painful gray area. Not fully protected, not fully understood, just stuck. The money that was taken was not just money. It was security, stability, peace of mind. And those things are much harder to recover. Even as investigations continue and regulations evolve, one truth remains clear. The systems we trust are not as unbreakable as we believe. For Michael, there was no clean ending, no moment where everything was restored. What remained was something quieter and heavier, a shift in how he saw the world. The phone number he once trusted became a vulnerability. The routines he relied on were no longer enough, and the systems designed to protect him had failed without ever breaking. Because sometimes the most dangerous threats are not loud. They do not announce themselves. They do not force their way in. They simply take over silently. And by the time you notice, it is already gone. If you made it this far, like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe because the next one might surprise you.